Good afternoon, Mark. How are you?
Hi, Gus. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Look, I'm very proud to bring Mark Burgess, yourself, to Leader Talk. I tell you why, Mark. Every time I think about your business, I will be lying not to think about Top Gun. This is the movie that I like since I was a kid. And when I understand that there is a business in Sydney, manufactured, designed, and coming up with innovation to be a solution of one of the best fighter jet in the world, I just can't help myself to be so proud to bring you into our talk show. But before we go further, I just have two questions for you. Number one, could you please just share a little bit about you and your business?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're probably being far too kind to us, Gus, but it is a good industry. It's a good business. So I'm Mark Burgess. I'm the CEO and Managing Director of Quickstep Holdings Limited. I've spent my entire professional life in the aerospace and defense industry, generally in Europe, UK, Europe, North America, Middle East, and Asia. And over the last 4 years, I've been running the Quickstep business here in Sydney. So we've got a production site in Sydney, an R&D centre in Geelong, and an aftermarket, so a maintenance, repair and overhaul business for the commercial aircraft market in Melbourne that we bought from Boeing recently. It's a great business. It's one in which I'm immensely proud to work. I work with one of the most competent technical and engineering businesses for its size that I've ever worked in, right here in Australia. Wow. 95% of our product is exported, mostly to Europe and the US.
Wow.
We employ almost 300 people, listed on the Australian Stock Exchange, which is a blessing and a curse, but great for helping us drive the business forward. And look, I've been there for 4 years. We've been through a bit of a transformation in that time, driving in performance improvements, both operationally and financially. So moving from making a lot of significant losses to now being consistently profitable.
Wow.
And we've got a great growth outlook. I think some of our shareholders get frustrated because the timescales in our business are quite long.
Yes.
It's what I call a medium cycle business. It's not FMCG, but it's not also major infrastructure. But that cycle can be 3 to 5 years for pitching for business, winning business, and then executing. So we've got a really strong baseline to move forward. We've grown at 17% CAGR over the last 3 years, which is, pretty significant for a manufacturing business. And we've got some really exciting growth opportunities looking ahead of us in defense aerospace, commercial aerospace, aftermarket services, and we just recently launched an unmanned air vehicle.
Yes, I actually saw the drone. I actually hit likes because this is all the technologies that I like. But let's not give too much because, I can sit here for 5 hours because this is the topic that I really like. And how about yourself? Share with us about you.
Okay, so I'm a Brit. My wife's Australian. I have 2 beautiful children. We moved here after living in the Middle East, UK, Middle East, and then Far East about 2015. I avid sports fan. Have some torn loyalties. I recently was fortunate enough to get Australian citizenship, so now I'm a dual national. But obviously in the Olympics, my heart still beats British blood. And when the English team play the Wallabies or when we meet in any form of sport, I always find it a bit challenging as to who to support. Well, it's obvious who I support. It's England. But I find that challenging in my household because everybody else is supporting the Australian team. And look, really enjoying the lifestyle here. Miss home. And obviously with COVID at the moment, that's a very extended period of time. I would normally be back in the UK and Europe 2 or 3 times a year, and I've not been since the end of 2019. And I miss everybody, so that's been pretty hard. And border restrictions are proving very, very difficult. Internal border restrictions are proving very difficult at the moment as well. So I I was stuck away from my family for 5 months last year, and that was pretty hard. But yeah, look, in general, love the job that I do. Wish that we could get everybody to be a bit more focused on beating the world in things other than sport, and carry that psyche forward in business. That would be awesome.
Fantastic.
So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Now, this is the important question. Leader Talk have a vision, and our vision very simple. We want to bring great insight from leaders like you to the world, especially to the small and medium businesses that are currently in challenge, especially. And when I spoke to you a few weeks ago, you bring this topic that stuck on my mind, because I think it's one of the best topic that every small and medium business can apply. To be honest, large business can apply. So this is the question. What would be the main dialogue that you will bring to the table in few weeks to the audience?
Well, first off, Gus, I'd say thank you very much for inviting me to Leader Talk. I think it's a great initiative of yours. I think, you know, as we've discussed, the philosophy you bring to business is one that really resonates with me. But the subject area I was keen to talk about was around how businesses of any size need to foster and grow a global mindset and a growth mindset.
Wow.
And just as I said earlier about, you know, it was a real surprise to me. I grew up in an environment where Wallabies were the team to beat. Australia always performed well at the Olympics. Every Australian expat I met was a high-performing individual. And then you come here, and it's quite an insular market. It's inward-looking. You know, Asia is a place people fly over to get somewhere else. I'm a really strong advocate of businesses of all sizes thinking about the global market, not just the local market, and looking at that as a source of sales, a source of competitive tension, a source of ideas and best practice, because there are hardly any businesses of any size that operate in a truly local context. You know, wow. Might be a few local shops that do so, but most businesses operate in a genuinely global context. Their supply chains are ultimately global. Their competitors of whatever level are global, and there's customers all over the world. And Australia is quite a small market. It's quite a simple market. It's not particularly complex. It's heavily biased towards the resources and services sector. But there are so many great examples of really good, innovative, ingenious companies here of all sizes that taking a global mindset and wrapping that into a growth mindset, having ambition for the sake of ambition, not just because you want to be rich or you want to be a big individual, but because achieving great things is really rewarding. It generates job opportunities, it generates personal development and business development. So being ambitious with that growth mindset and a global mindset is something I feel really strongly about.
I really love this topic. You know, if you don't mind, I even shared when you talk to me, your dear wife, you know, have a local business currently at home with a global client from Sydney. You know, what's stopping small business, medium business, every business to apply that? Mark, I cannot wait to bring you in few weeks. And I think this topic, local business, global mindset, aggressive growth mindset to bring job coming back in Australia. Because if you manufactured in Australia, because we supplying globally instead of buying from globally, we are a winning countries. And I can't wait if you can supply a product to the most advanced jet fighter in the world, production in Sydney. I want to learn from you, and I'm sure a lot of people want to learn from you. Mark Burgess, thank you so much for your time. We can't wait to have you in our future session in a couple of weeks. Thank you again.